Welcome to History Revealed, the uncomfortable truth, how doubt forged our world. Before we delve into the radical act of questioning, we must first understand the bedrock upon which human societies were built for millennia: absolute certainty. Imagine a world where the rising sun was not a scientific phenomenon, but a divine decree, where the fertility of the land, the health of the populace, and the very structure of governance were inextricably linked to an immutable, inherited truth. For much of human history, existence was defined by belief. From the earliest communal gatherings to the sprawling empires of antiquity, people lived within elaborate frameworks of shared understanding. These frameworks, often woven from sacred narratives, ancestral wisdom, and religious doctrines, provided comfort, order, and meaning. Monumental achievements like the towering ziggurats of Mesopotamia, the intricate pyramids of Egypt, or the vast temple complexes of Mesoamerica were not merely architectural marvels. They were physical manifestations of an unquestioned cosmos. In these societies, knowledge was often a sacred trust, passed down through generations, guarded by priests, elders, or ruling elites. Tradition was paramount, dictating everything from daily rituals to grand ceremonies. There was little room, and often no perceived need, for individual skepticism. The why was answered by the "because it has always been." Deviation from established norms risked not just social ostracization, but cosmic disorder. Life was cyclical, predictable, and profoundly integrated with a divine order. The world was explained, understood, and its mysteries attributed to forces beyond human comprehension, but not beyond human belief. This era, before questioning, was a vast tapestry of inherited dogma and collective faith, where the very concept of challenging foundational truths was alien, if not heretical. It was a world of profound stability, forged not by inquiry, but by an unwavering acceptance of what was presented as absolute, eternal truth. Yet even amidst this vast tapestry of inherited dogma and unwavering certainty, a subtle unraveling began. Across the Aegean, in the vibrant, burgeoning city-states of ancient Greece, a different kind of curiosity stirred, one rooted not in divine revelation, but in empirical observation and reasoned inquiry. For millennia, humanity had looked to the heavens and the myths for answers. Now some daring minds began to look around them and inward. This pivotal shift saw the emergence of the pre-Socratic philosophers, figures often working in relative obscurity, yet whose ideas sparked an intellectual revolution. Thinkers like Thales of Miletus, Anaxander, and Heraclitus were no longer content with explanations dictated solely by capricious gods or ancestral narratives. Instead, they sought logos, a rational, underlying principle governing the seemingly chaotic world. They observed the relentless cycle of the tides, the predictable movements of celestial bodies, and the transformative power of the elements: air, water, earth, fire. Where once Zeus hurled thunderbolts, these nascent philosophers pondered atmospheric conditions. Where sea gods stirred the waves, they considered the force of winds and currents. This was not yet the sharp-pointed skepticism of later eras, but a fundamental departure from unquestioning acceptance. It was the birth of abstract thought, a profound questioning of how things worked, rather than simply accepting that they did. A lone figure, perhaps by the sun-drenched coast, might gaze reflectively at a weathered papyrus, its edges frayed, wrestling with concepts of infinite regress or the ever-present flux of existence. Every reasoned explanation, every attempt to find order through observation, inherently chipped away at the monolithic edifice of unquestioned dogma. Each why that sought a natural answer rather than a mythological one was a potent seed of uncertainty planted in fertile intellectual ground. This was the quiet, almost imperceptible dawn of critical inquiry, laying the indispensable groundwork for a revolution of thought that would forever shape the very fabric of human understanding. While pre-Socratics observed nature, Socrates plunged into human understanding, bringing philosophy from cosmos to Athenian agora. His mission? Expose ignorance, especially among those claiming wisdom. Socrates defined justice, virtue, piety, scrutinizing what people thought they knew. Picture this unconventional figure, humble, yet wielding formidable intellect. He engaged citizens, sophists, politicians in relentless dialogue, a method known as elenchus. He'd ask simple questions, then, through incisive follow-up inquiries, systematically reveal contradictions within confident assertions. Socrates claimed to know nothing, yet his probing exposed how much less others truly understood. More than debate, it was an intellectual challenge causing discomfort and bewilderment. Imagine a respected Athenian statesman, his certainty eroding under Socrates' calm, persistent questioning. Or a proud young orator, his arguments crumbling, leaving him speechless in the bustling marketplace. The agora, hub of commerce and politics, transformed into an intellectual crucible. Socrates' stinging questions fostered intellectual humility, demonstrated widely accepted truths often rested on shaky foundations. He challenged the fabric of Athenian society, urging individuals to question authority and tradition. This radical commitment to critical inquiry, even facing condemnation, irrevocably redefined philosophy. From Socrates' relentless cross-examination, which actively sought to expose ignorance, we turn to a different, perhaps more radical form of doubt, Pyrrho of Elis. Emerging slightly later, Pyrrho's philosophy, known as Pyrrhonism, didn't aim to find definitive answers, but rather to achieve peace of mind by suspending judgment entirely. He offered a profound pathway to inner tranquility. Pyrrho's journey was as unconventional as his thought. He is said to have traveled with Alexander the Great's army into India, where he encountered Eastern philosophers, possibly the Gymnosophists, whose aesthetic practices and emphasis on inner tranquility deeply influenced him. Upon his return to Elis, Pyrrho began to teach a path not of certainty, but of profound intellectual humility. Central to Pyrrhonism is the concept of epoche, the suspension of judgment. Pyrrho argued that for every statement or belief, an equally compelling counterstatement could be made. Therefore, since we cannot definitively ascertain absolute truth or falsehood, the wisest course of action is to refrain from making any firm assertions. This wasn't a denial of reality, but an acknowledgement of our limited human capacity to fully grasp it. This suspension of judgment, Pyrrho believed, led to ataraxia, a state of unperturbed tranquility, and apatheia, freedom from disturbance.
If one does not commit to any particular belief, then one cannot be disappointed or distressed when those beliefs are challenged or proven false. The anxieties of seeking definitive truth, of constantly defending one's opinions, simply melt away, bringing ultimate peace. Imagine a mind liberated from the constant struggle for certainty, a quiet mind content in its non-commitment. Pyrrho's radical skepticism offered a profound escape from intellectual turmoil. Unlike Socrates, who sought to clarify by questioning, Pyrrho sought peace by letting go of the need for clarity itself. His legacy is a powerful reminder that doubt can be more than a tool for deconstruction. It can be a pathway to an unexpected form of serenity, profoundly influencing later philosophical traditions concerning the limits of human knowledge and the pursuit of inner peace. From the quietude of Pyrrho's suspended judgment, we turn our gaze to the bustling heart of the Roman Republic, where doubt took on a vastly different yet equally foundational character. In Rome, doubt wasn't primarily a path to personal tranquility or abstract philosophical truth. It was a pragmatic tool, a mechanism woven into the very fabric of statecraft, law, and governance. Here, skepticism served the empire's earthly ambitions, a means to achieve effective decision-making and robust justice. The Senate, a crucible of power and intellect, epitomized this pragmatic doubt. Debates raged for hours, sometimes days, not with the goal of intellectual abstraction, but to scrutinize proposals, challenge assumptions, and weigh conflicting evidence before committing the Republic to a course of action. Senators, often steeped in Greek philosophy, applied its critical methods to very real-world problems: military campaigns, legal reforms, financial policies. They questioned witnesses, cross-examined arguments, and deliberated with a deep, civic-minded skepticism, demanding concrete evidence and sound reasoning. Consider a Roman magistrate presiding over a court, or a senator advocating a new law. Their role demanded a rigorous questioning of facts, an examination of precedent, and a careful assessment of potential consequences. Was a witness credible? Was a law truly equitable? Would a military strategy yield the desired outcome? This wasn't about denying absolute truth, but about delaying assent until sufficient evidence and logical argument supported a conclusion, ensuring the stability and prosperity of the state. This form of doubt, instrumental and purposeful, fostered a society that, while deeply traditional, also possessed remarkable adaptability. It cultivated a culture of rigorous argument and intellectual resilience. The Roman emphasis on legal process, on the persuasive power of rhetoric, and on the cautious approach to monumental decisions all stemmed from this foundational embrace of pragmatic doubt. It ensured that policies were not adopted blindly, but through a painstaking process of challenge and verification, helping to forge an empire that endured for centuries, not despite its doubts, but because of them.
From Rome's pragmatic skepticism, we transition to a starkly different landscape, the European Middle Ages, an era defined by profound faith and the towering authority of the Church. Here, theological dogma was the unquestionable bedrock of society, providing universal explanations for existence, morality, and humanity's divine purpose. For centuries, established doctrine represented absolute truth, forming the foundation of all knowledge. Open questioning, as practiced in Athens or Rome, largely vanished, deemed not as intellectual exercise, but as potential blasphemy. Yet, even within this rigid intellectual framework, doubt, though often driven underground, persisted. It manifested not as public debate, but as a quiet, internal struggle, often in the solitude of monastic scriptoria. Here, scribes and scholars, meticulously copying and studying sacred texts, might privately confront subtle inconsistencies or profound theological paradoxes. Here, scribes and scholars, meticulously copying and studying sacred texts, might privately confront subtle inconsistencies or profound theological paradoxes. This nascent skepticism was a perilous path. To articulate such doubts openly was to invite accusations of heresy, a crime against God and society, punishable with terrifying severity. The chilling shadow of the Inquisition cast a long pall over intellectual inquiry. This powerful institution, designed to identify and suppress deviations from orthodox belief, enforced intellectual conformity with brutal efficiency. Dissenting texts were censored or burned, and those who propagated false ideas faced excommunication, imprisonment, or worse. This created an atmosphere where critical thought, particularly regarding religious tenets, was fraught with extreme danger. This period thus presents a powerful paradox, an age of immense intellectual dedication, primarily to theology, but one where independent critical inquiry was often stifled. Doubt became an internal anxiety, a subtle undercurrent beneath the surface of rigid belief, shaping the quiet struggles of solitary thinkers and the unspoken questions embedded within the marginalia of forbidden texts, patiently awaiting an age more amenable to their open expression. Emerging from the long shadow of medieval conformity, the Renaissance dawned, not merely as a revival of art, but as a profound reawakening of the human mind. This epoch, meaning rebirth, saw a dramatic shift in intellectual currents. Where doubt had been a silent, dangerous whisper, it now began to transform into a driving force for inquiry, fueled by a renewed fascination with the classical world. Scholars meticulously delved into forgotten Greek and Roman texts, rediscovering philosophies that championed human reason and direct observation, rather than solely relying on ecclesiastical interpretations. This intellectual ferment spurred an unprecedented curiosity about the natural world and humanity's place within it. Artists, moving beyond symbolic representation, became avid anatomists, dissecting bodies to truly understand the human form. Their works, utilizing new techniques like linear perspective,
depicted the world with an astonishing realism that challenged the flat, allegorical depictions of previous centuries. Similarly, burgeoning scientists and thinkers began to critically examine existing knowledge, whether in astronomy, medicine, or political theory, daring to observe the heavens and dissect established theories. The universe, once understood through ancient dogma, became a subject for direct observation and mathematical analysis, slowly eroding centuries-old paradigms.
This era saw the flourishing of humanism, placing human potential and achievement at the very center of intellectual endeavor. It wasn't just about questioning old answers, it was about seeking new ones with empirical rigor and artistic vision, a bold reassertion of humanity's capacity for understanding. The Renaissance wasn't a sudden, revolutionary break from faith, but a gradual, confident unveiling of a world viewed through the keen lens of human intellect, where curiosity became a cardinal virtue, and doubt a powerful pathway to deeper, more nuanced understanding. As the Renaissance broadened humanity's intellectual horizons, shifting focus from collective faith to individual inquiry, a new, more profound form of doubt emerged, personified by the revolutionary French philosopher René Descartes. Where previous thinkers questioned specific doctrines, Descartes dared to doubt everything foundational. His intellectual journey, often beginning in the stark solitude of a stove-heated room, was a deliberate retreat from the external world, seeking an unshakable foundation for all knowledge. He meticulously dismantled every belief, scrutinizing the reliability of his senses, questioning mathematical truths, and considering the chilling possibility of an all-powerful deceiver manipulating his perceptions. This radical, methodical skepticism was not an end, but a powerful tool to strip away all that was uncertain. From this self-imposed abyss of universal doubt, a single, undeniable truth emerged with startling clarity. The very act of doubting proved his own existence as a thinking being. Cogito, ergo sum, I think, therefore I am, became the irrefutable bedrock of his entire philosophy. This profound realization that the mind's own self-awareness was the primary and most secure anchor in a tempestuous sea of uncertainty provided an unprecedented starting point. Descartes had not merely questioned, he had courageously built a new epistemology from the ground up, initiating a paradigm shift that decisively privileged individual reason and subjective experience as the ultimate arbiter of truth. His rigorous method laid crucial groundwork for the burgeoning scientific revolution, emphasizing clear and distinct ideas and fundamentally separating mind from matter. It was a powerful testament to radical, systematic doubt, not as a destructive force, but as the ultimate forge for undeniable truth, forever altering the course of Western thought and setting the intellectual stage for future scientific inquiry and Enlightenment rationalism. Building upon Descartes' foundational doubt and his separation of mind from matter, the intellectual revolution gained crucial momentum through the formalization of the scientific method. No longer confined to abstract philosophy, doubt was now meticulously channeled into rigorous empirical inquiry.
Scientists, driven by an insatiable curiosity, began systematically observing, hypothesizing, experimenting, and critically re-evaluating their conclusions, letting verifiable data rather than inherited dogma dictate understanding. This wasn't merely questioning, it was a structured, iterative approach demanding repeatable results and objective evidence. Figures like Francis Bacon had championed inductive reasoning, urging a decisive move away from purely deductive speculation towards painstaking observation. Then came revolutionary instruments. The telescope dramatically unveiled celestial mechanics, challenging geocentric views, while the microscope revealed unseen microbial worlds, vastly expanding the definition of life. In nascent laboratories, alchemists transformed into chemists, astrologers into astronomers, as meticulous measurements and controlled experiments became the new arbiters of truth. The core of this method was a deeply cultivated skepticism, an unwavering refusal to accept theories without robust empirical evidence. Every experiment was a precise question posed directly to nature. Every observation a potential challenge to prevailing wisdom. From Galileo's groundbreaking experiments on motion to Newton's elegant mathematical descriptions of gravity, the scientific method became the ultimate tool for dissecting reality. It systematized the act of questioning, making doubt not a destructive force, but a highly productive, self-correcting mechanism that constantly refined human understanding. This empirical approach, forged in systematic inquiry, moved humanity decisively towards an era where knowledge was built not on unquestioned certainty, but on the iterative power of organized doubt and the relentless, verifiable pursuit of truth. It laid the indispensable foundation for all modern scientific advancements, forever altering how we perceive and interact with our world. Building on the bedrock of scientific skepticism, inquiry moved beyond the laboratory, igniting the Enlightenment. Critical reason, honed by the scientific method, became the ultimate tool for dissecting society, government, and religion. Philosophers gathered in Parisian salons and London coffeehouses, daring to question dogmas that anchored centuries of power. Voltaire championed religious tolerance and free speech, deploying wit and logic against superstition and arbitrary authority. Montesquieu analyzed governments, advocating separation of powers, a profound influence on democratic constitutions. Rousseau challenged divine right, proposing a social contract where legitimacy stemmed from the governed. Locke's arguments for natural rights, life, liberty, property, provided a powerful philosophical foundation. The Enlightenment profoundly believed reason could improve humanity. Diderot's encyclopedia projects compiled and disseminated human knowledge, fostering critical thinking, thus undermining traditional institutions controlling information. Pamphlets, books, and public debates spread these revolutionary ideas with fervor. This relentless application of doubt to every societal institution, from absolutist monarchies to established churches, chipped away at unquestioned authority, paving the way for revolutionary change. The Enlightenment's sharp edge carved a new path where individual liberty, rationality, and human progress were paramount, fundamentally reshaping the modern world. underscoring the enduring power of systematic questioning. If the Enlightenment taught us to question everything, the modern age presents us with an unprecedented challenge. What to question and how amidst a deluge of information? We stand at the precipice of a new dilemma, where the very tools designed to enlighten now threaten to overwhelm. The Internet, a global library and a boundless forum, simultaneously democratizes knowledge and disseminates misinformation at a frightening speed. Every click, every scroll, every news feed bombards us with data, opinion, and often outright falsehoods. Where once authority resided in institutions, churches, states, universities, now anyone with a platform can claim expertise, blurring the lines between fact and fiction. Echo chambers reinforce existing biases, isolating individuals in self-affirming bubbles where critical thought struggles to penetrate. The digital maelstrom makes discerning truth a Herculean task, demanding an even more rigorous application of doubt than ever before. The challenge is not merely to question, but to question wisely. It requires digital literacy, a nuanced understanding of sources, and the courage to engage with uncomfortable truths that transcend our personal biases. We must actively seek diverse perspectives, scrutinize claims, and resist the easy comfort of confirmation. The legacy of Socrates, Pyrrho, Descartes, and the Enlightenment philosophers compels us. Doubt, not as an end, but as a perpetual process of intellectual navigation. In this era of unprecedented connectivity and potential confusion, the ability to critically assess, to patiently verify, and to responsibly form conclusions is not just an intellectual exercise, it is a societal imperative. It is how we forge a shared reality, uphold democratic principles, and ultimately continue the ceaseless journey toward understanding. The weight of history, from ancient philosophy to the Enlightenment's fervor, compels us. How will you navigate this modern dilemma? And what truths will you critically discern?